in terms of just my tips in terms of you, your business and the business that you're planning and your life generally. So I know that some people in this room, you're thinking about, yeah, I'm running a business. Some of you might already be running a business already, or you might have in the past. And some of you might just be thinking, okay, where am I next in my career? What am I wanting to do next? Incidentally, can I just ask, why are you here tonight? Can I just shout out, why are you here?
Some of them have to because it's part of their assessment.
Some of you got to have to. I like that. I like that. So I'm going to look out for the people with grumpy faces, and the people who have to. Yeah. And what else?
To be inspired.
To be inspired. Okay. Yeah. Anyone else? Come on, shout. We're all going to be best friends. Remember. Anyone else?
Contacts.
Make contacts. Great. I like that.
New experiences.
New experiences. Anything else?
Learn.
Like-minded.
Like-minded people. Yeah. Cool. For me, the first thing is clarity. Who are you? Why are you here? What's really important to you? Before we can even talk about business, you know, I coach all sorts of people. I coach millionaires, pop stars, politicians. You might want to do something completely different tomorrow. So my first thing to you is to invite you, you know, to stop and think, who am I? What's really important to me? So you might even want to write down what's important to you personally and what's really important to you professionally. Just write that down, you know, starting from what's personally. What's really important to you? What's most important? What's most dear to you? It's really important. Because unless you're clear, nothing else will be. The moment that you are clear, everything else will be. So really invite you to think, you know, what's really important to me? Where am I at? What's really important to me personally? What's important to me professionally? Because business means different things to different people. For one person, business is having a chain of shops, a number of yachts. For somebody else, it's just doing what they love and just making handcrafted jewelry that they're passionate about and being able to make a living from it. Business is different things to different people. And one of the things that can hold lots of people back is that we have somebody else's notion of success in our head of what success is. It's really important that you ask yourself, what's really important to me? On that note, I should warn you that when I speak to most audiences, I say there's two talks that are going to be going on at the same time in this room. There's talk for your head and the talk for your heart. Talk for your head is wanting to know, you know, it's wanting to know, why does this guy speak so fast? Why is there no tea and coffee? Is it warm enough in the room? Did I leave the back door open? Are we going to get out in time? Are there any refreshments? Am I going to get a chance to chat to my best friend? Did I leave the back door open? Are the kids okay? Et cetera, et cetera. How am I going to make money from this? And when is he going to tell me something that I haven't heard already? That's the head. And then there's your heart. And your heart just wants to authentically be yourself. Is that fair to say? Your heart doesn't really want for anything, just wants to be true to you. Problem is, guess which one tends to win the day? The head, and the heart doesn't often get a look in. I invite you to, as far as you can, listen to your heart. Remember, your heart doesn't want much, just wants to be true to you. So how is it you're going to be true to you in that whole kind of thing? Should also say there are other two things that I've noticed actually in life. The success and fulfillment. Bear in mind that we're here in front of a room of entrepreneurs, and it links to something that Ollie was saying. For me, there's two things also in life. Most people want two things. They want success and they want fulfillment. Success, and they want happiness, fulfillment, call it what you like. Fair to say again, success will depend who you are, what you interpret as success. One person, again, it is the yacht and the chain of shops. Success for somebody else might be just doing something they're passionate about, playing guitar all day, whatever it might well be. And then there's fulfillment. The myth of modern living is that success is going to lead you to fulfillment. Once I've got this, the right body shape, the right partner, the right car, the right this, the right that, the right amount of money in the bank, the right business and so on, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be fulfilled. That's the myth of modern living, and it's a complete illusion. It's a lie. I've coached millionaires, superstars, all sorts of people and so on. Success doesn't necessarily lead to fulfillment. Perhaps fulfillment leads to meaningful success when you accept yourself. Fulfillment is dependent on nothing. So success, the thing about success, it's going to be dependent on lots of things. And again, this is important. It's about you, your drive, how hard you're prepared to work, the economy, the weather, depending what it is you're doing. You know, if you're an athlete, there's only going to be one person who's going to win the gold medal in your particular sport once every 4 years. How hard are you prepared to work? What team do you have around you? What support do you have around you? What's going on? So that's success. And then there's fulfillment. Fulfillment is dependent on nothing. Success is something that you tend to walk towards. Fulfillment tends to be something that you tend to move away from every time when you're trying to find it. Fulfillment is just the embracing of yourself, accepting of you, who it is that you are. So I just thought I'd say that. So I'm going to throw out all sorts of things here and just take whatever is useful and throw everything else that doesn't resonate away. So clarity. Who are you? What's really important to you? What's most dear to you? What does success mean to you? What does fulfillment mean to you? Next thing is customers. This is so, so important. Even though I knew about this when I started out in business, it took me a long time to deeply, deeply learn this. Once you're clear on who you are and what it is that you're wanting to create, whether it is that you're wanting to run an online business, selling clothes, or wherever it is you're wanting to open your flower stall, or wherever it is that you're wanting to run a consultancy business, or doing whatever it is, dressmaking, whatever it might well be, selling books, whatever it might well be. Once you're clear about that, it's then all about your customers. You know, the funny thing about life is this, that we all share the same physical planet, but we all live in our own different worlds. One of the things I talk about in the book is what I call the blindness of the visionary, of the entrepreneur, blindness of an entrepreneur. We're so obsessed by our next idea. We assume that everyone else is going to want a free-handed teacup. And sometimes we're even afraid to share that idea. And I so agree with what Ollie was saying, you know, sometimes asking other people who you know, like and trust, what do they think and so on. But who are your customers then? And how do your customers see the world? Don't assume that they're all the same. Different people want different things. Remember, you are a customer too. And one of the worst things that you hate is when people make assumptions about you and when people don't talk to you as a customer. That's why you leave the utility company. That's why you don't shop in a particular store. So don't make the same mistake as those companies. I had to come here today after dealing with one of my clients who's quite accomplished in some of the stuff that they do, and they just had a big challenge with a particular event where a very, very, very well-known hotel had had forgotten their customers, and they've acted very poorly. And actually, one of the things that's quite interesting about today in terms of the social media era is you can be the biggest company in the world, you can be the most successful celebrity. If with the wrong word said to the wrong person at the wrong time, you know, reputation is everything, that you could suddenly realize that you've got no business tomorrow. I think there was a well-known social networking site that had made some changes to certain kind of bits of information, and there was a bit of a concern about it, and they really had to make some changes very quickly, because the power of people saying, actually, don't use this or think twice about using that is very, very powerful. So listen to your customers, listen to them, not just at the beginning or before you starting up in business, but throughout. And as far as I'm concerned, everybody is your customer. Everybody in this room is your customer. Your friends, your partner, your parents. Who are your customers? Who are the people important to you? In your business, it's not going to probably just be the actual people who are buying the product. You might have suppliers, all sorts of people. So really do treat them well. So that's your customers. Courage, that is definitely going to be necessary. You know, Ollie was talking about this also before. You know, sometimes that thing about, you know, of entrepreneurs just to put, you know, to just put one foot in front of the other, to make that call, to make that email, to just try. It's going to require courage. I invite you to think, what's the courage you've already had in your life? It might have taken you a lot of courage even to be here, to apply for uni. It might have taken you, some of you may have had courage, you might have started off in one country to come here. That might have taken a huge amount of courage. What's the courage you've already had in your life? And what's the courage that you think is going to be required from here? What really inspires you? Who are the people who you admire who've had courage? And how is it that they walked the path that they walked on? So courage will definitely be very, very important. In my own business, you know, in my own case as a coach, when I started out as a coach, I trained as a coach. So I went off and I trained as a coach, and it was great. It was a great course, and I felt there was something missing. I felt there was something that was kind of missing, and I found myself writing on the tube. I worked part-time at the time, and I found myself writing a book. This is an incarnation of it called The Gift of Inner Success, and it was about all those things, all those invisible things, the invisible, intangible things that you cannot see, you cannot touch, but they're there. Trust, acceptance, energy, flow. This course was all about goals and all that kind of stuff. That's very important when you're a coach, because you've got to help people get from A to B. But there was all this other stuff. And so I found myself writing that. And so I had to have the courage in my field as a coach to talk about this kind of stuff. And I thought, oh my goodness, so people are going to want to talk about all this spiritual stuff, all this touchy-feely stuff when I'm coaching business people, when I'm coaching corporate people, and so on. But guess what? Lo and behold, it's that stuff why people ask me to speak time and time and time again, or when people come to me, whether they're conscious of it or not. So sometimes you may be the only person who's walking down your path. Trust your heart. That might be what's given you your business idea as well. Trust your heart. Have the courage. Cooperation. Co-operation. Interesting. There was an error when I was writing this slide, that ended up like that instead of on one line. It made me think about the word cooperation. Any operation is going to require us to work collaboratively. Know that without cooperation, the bus is not going to stop at the bus stop. The people are not going to let each other on and off. Everything, we are, at the end of the day, we're interrelated, we're interdependent, we're one, whether it is you look at it through a spiritual lens, whether it is that you look at a scientific lens or whatever. Funny thing is about us human beings is that we kind of think, just like leaves, we all look slightly different shape, different color, different weight and so on, all different leaves. Think about leaves on a tree. They all wave differently in the breeze, don't they? And they think they're all so different. Perhaps if they could look back, they might see that they're linked to the same branch. And you might have even heard about leaves on the other side of the tree. We're interrelated, we're independent one. Business isn't going to happen unless you cooperate. There's a relationship between you and your customers and so on. Cooperation. Be it that's you might think, well, hang on a minute, I'm not going to need cooperation. I'm going to be running this, just my business, where I'm going to be serving my consultancy, or where I'm just going to be doing my own flower storage and making my own jewelry. I don't need to cooperate. But who's going to be this? There's going to be somebody supplying you materials. You're going to need to go to the shop. You might be running the most successful business, but if you can't cooperate with your partner in terms of who's going to pick up the kids, you're finished. Cooperation. Conversations. This is a very, very, very powerful thing. When I run workshops, and I'm the life and business coach partner to British Library that's got a business intellectual property centre that's free of charge, it's got all sorts of resources and so on. I often notice, I always take a look at the list of the people who are on the workshop list for this workshop, Your Life, Your Business. Take a look at the list, and I always spot that there are these synergies. But very often the conversations that could take place never take place. Every piece of business I've ever got, and it links again what Ollie was saying, chimed with me. Every piece of business, every opportunity I've ever gained in my entire life has come as a result of a conversation. The right word said at the right time will open a door. The wrong word at the wrong time with the wrong intonation will close it for you forever. And you may never know. But everything is a conversation. What your website says, what your business card says, what you say, how you treat people, everything's a conversation. Are you having the conversations? I want you to think about one personal conversation that you should be having right now. There might be a conversation in your family. Actually, you know what, Mum, I love you. You know, brother, it's okay. I know you're difficult, but I really, really care about you, and I know we see the world differently. I want you to think about one personal conversation and maybe one career or business-related conversation. You might think, actually, this blah, blah, blah is on my course, and I'd really like to get their views, or blah, blah, blah has got a skill about websites, and I'm thinking about that. Think about one personal conversation you should be having and one professional conversation. Conversations are powerful and they are profound. Everything is a conversation. I think the secret is keeping them clear, crisp, and concise, and really compelling. One of the other things about this is I always look at what most people's websites are saying when I'm coaching them and so on. One thing that I would say that, remember, bear in mind, and this is a very important thing, you know, there's going to be a million other people doing whatever it is you're doing in business, whether it is that you're a consultant, whether it is you're running an IT business, whether it is you're running a jewelry business, whatever it happens to be, whether you're making shoes, whatever it is, whether lawyer, accountancy, business, whatever. There's going to be 1,000, 2,000, lots more business owners. What's going to make you stand out? You and your story. I used to work in media and press and PR. So make sure you're telling your story. You are the most important thing in your business, whatever it is you're selling. You are the thing that's going to make it work or not work. And again, this is one of the things that Ollie was, kind of, I'm touching on in many ways, actually, that you're the secret, you're the key. You are the most valuable asset in your business. You are the captain of the ship. It is your job to steer it to safe harbor. You. So how is it you're going to connect with people? My favorite one. I'm wearing the Dalai Lama today. Compassion. There's two choices in life. You can fight it or you can embrace it. If you fight it, you're going to lose. If you embrace it, you'll become at one with it and you will be lived. Simple as that. He discovered that. We all will try and fight our cause, won't we? But then we'll realize that we're all interrelated, independent, and that we're all ultimately one. And then magic happens. Compassion. You will need two types of compassion. First of all, compassion for yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you will have no business. You will have ill health. And business is very demanding. It is very, very draining. I remember when I was writing the book, I rang one of the guys who was in the book to tell him that he was in the book, and he told me, you know, it's really interesting. I've literally just been released from hospital. This guy's a wonderful guy doing all sorts of wonderful work here and abroad, but guess what? He wasn't taking care of his heart. And so his heart, because it was a heart problem, was telling him, hello, I'm here, take care of me. So take care of yourself, love you, love what you do, and love others too. Take care. Are you compassionate about to people you meet, the people, your staff, people you're working with, your customers? Do you care just about your customers, or do you just care about their cash? Creativity. Aha. Business itself is born of creativity. One minute there's an idea, next minute it's not. So I'd say trust your ideas. Trust your ideas. One minute there's an idea, one there's not. I mean, as an entrepreneur, I used to be a singer-songwriter, so for me, just because I can't see something doesn't mean it's not there. One minute I don't have the song, next minute I have the song. So do trust in the power of your ideas, but equally at the same time, your idea is nothing until you do something with it. But I think there's a few things I want to say to creativity. Know when it is that you're like at your best, what you're like at your best. What are you like at your best? What time of the day are you like at your best? Are you at your best if you're working by yourself, or are you at your best with others? You need to know that. What are you best at? Are you planning to do a business that you really excel in, or are you trying to do something you don't excel in? Very rare would be an athlete who's trying to excel in a sport that they're no good in. Nature. Nature will tell you a lot about your nature. It's very nourishing. Make sure you get the rest and so on that you need. Very often when I'm coaching business owners, the first thing I do is to look at their life, not their business. Because actually if they don't have time for themselves to rest, relax, meditate, pray, do yoga, whatever it is that floats their boat, do the washing up, spend time with loved ones, it ain't going to work. So that's going to help you be creative. And know what combination between framework and flexibility works for you. What kind of tools and resources are you going to need in your business to make it work for you? Are you using an old paper diary? Other people use their modern gadgets and so on. Know what kind of works for you. Know what kind of structure works for you. There's 7 themes in the book, but I added an 8th because it's the ace in the pack. Change. Everything is subject to change. You will change. The economy will change, your customers will change, the people in your life will change, everything will change. Everything is a manifestation of change. You have changed during this talk. Cells are being born and dying. Hairs are growing. Everything's changing all the time. Heart rate changing, temperature in the room probably changing. The seasons just recently changed. The clocks are going to change at the end of the week, aren't they? Everything is changing. Everything is subject to change. But we're duplicitous when it comes to change. On the one hand, we want things to change. We want to grow up faster. We want this to happen. We want more money or whatever. On the other hand, we want everything to stay the same. Isn't that interesting? So just be mindful, be aware that everything is the nature of change, and actually you are the change maker. We are in times of change, and my invitation to you is to follow your heart and to be yourself. And so it's really interesting. Just to finish, Dwayne had asked me for 3 things to leave you with, and I thought it was really interesting, and I'd agree with all the things that Ollie said, but for me, there's 3 things. First of all, follow your purpose, your passion, your values, and your talents. Follow your purpose, your passion. You know, what are you passionate about? So, because you might be sat here thinking, well, hang on, I don't know what I'm wanting to do. Just write down, what are you passionate about? Because you're going to need momentum. And the momentum is going to come from your passion. What's your passion, what are your skills, what are your talents? Follow those, build a business around those, and you will make it work. Find the thing that you will have to do, that you've got no choice but to do, and that even if you weren't being paid to do it, that you'll do that. And you will make money from it. The next thing is rich relationships and customers. Rich relationships, build rich relationships. And you know, Ollie was talking about this, it's so true. Build rich relationships. I have a golden rule, which is, Rasheed's golden rule is this: be genuinely interested in everybody you meet, and everybody you meet will be genuinely interested in you. It is a universal truth. 95% of people, you'll find that. How you treat people broadly is how it is that they will treat you. Are you treating people transactionally or transformationally? Choice is yours. Finally, love and compassion. People don't talk about it in business, but hey, if you don't love what you do, people ain't going to love what you do. If you don't treat people respectfully, staff, suppliers, and so on, they're going to leave you sooner or later. So care about yourself, be compassionate toward yourself, love others, love what you do, and that will keep it fun. It's been a real pleasure to speak to you, and I think hopefully we'll take some questions later. And there's just a little quote for you, and my details are there. Is my Twitter on there? I'm on Twitter too, so yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Right, excellent. Thank you for listening. You've been sitting down for a while. We're overrunning a bit in terms of traditional timing, but I always do this on my first one. It's all about kind of working things back out again. But, you know, let's do a little bit of movie shaky. Right, everybody up? Get your minds thinking for the question and answer. Right, if you've been in one of my workshops, you probably know the routine already, but, you know, it's the same routine. So who's the tallest in the room? Tiptoes and arms. Tiptoes and arms. Who's the tallest? And tiptoes. Stop cheating. It's not late. I can't see no one on tiptoes. Only some. Excellent. All right. Unless you've got any health problems, touch your toes if you can. I know it's a bit of a... touch your toes unless you've got health problems. And if so, I want to see certificates. Right. Right hand up. Let's test right and left now. Anti-clockwise. Let's anti-clockwise and clockwise. All right. I'll see you thinking about it. Left hand, same thing. Excellent. Right. All hands.